Cars are supposed to be built to last, right? Yet, in the last 2 decades, manufacturers have packed vehicles with flashy gimmicks that look cool in commercials, but secretly eat away at reliability, durability, and lifespan. From fragile electronics to over-engineered gadgets nobody asked for, these innovations often turn your dream car into a ticking time bomb of repairs. Imagine spending thousands on maintenance, not because your engine wore out, but because of a cup holder sensor or a sunroof motor. Sounds ridiculous, but it's real. In this documentary, we're going to peel back the curtain. We'll cover why they exist, how they fail, and what makes them such a nightmare in the long run. Stick around until the end, because you'll want to know which features you should always avoid when shopping for your next car. So buckle up, because once you hear this list, you'll never look at modern innovations the same way again. Push-button start systems. At first glance, push-button start seems like progress. No more fumbling for keys, just press and go. But here's the problem. These systems are overly dependent on fragile sensors, expensive fobs, and complex electronics. If even one sensor fails, your car may refuse to start altogether. Traditional keys were cheap, sturdy, and easy to replace. Now, if your push-start system breaks, you're looking at hundreds, sometimes thousands, of dollars in repairs. Worse, thieves have figured out ways to hack keyless systems using cheap signal amplifiers, allowing them to steal your car in under a minute. Instead of improving reliability, push-button systems actually add more failure points and make ownership a headache. That sleek button may look futuristic, but in reality, it's just a ticking time bomb. Electronic parking brakes. Remember when parking brakes were just a simple lever you could yank? Bulletproof, mechanical, and cheap to fix. Enter electronic parking brakes, a modern luxury that fails more often than it works. These systems rely on motors and sensors to engage your brake pads electronically. Sounds convenient until the motor burns out or the sensors glitch. Suddenly, your car refuses to release the brake, leaving you stranded. Worse, replacing an electronic parking brake isn't cheap. A simple lever fix that once cost $50 can now run you $1,000 plus. What's the point? A technology that makes cars less reliable while draining wallets? Definitely one of the dumbest ideas in modern cars. CVT transmissions, continuously variable transmissions. CVTs were marketed as the future. Smooth acceleration, better fuel economy, no gear shifts. But here's the dirty truth. CVTs are fragile, expensive, and often fail long before traditional automatics or manuals. Belts and pulleys inside CVTs wear down quickly, especially under heavy loads or spirited driving. Instead of lasting 200,000 plus miles like a solid automatic, many CVTs fail around 70,000 to 100,000 miles. And when they fail, replacement costs can exceed the value of the car. Manufacturers pushed CVTs for efficiency scores, not longevity. For car owners, they've been nothing but a reliability disaster. Panoramic sunroofs. Panoramic sunroofs look cool on showroom floors. Giant glass ceilings that flood the cabin with sunlight. But in reality, they're heavy, fragile, and prone to leaks. These massive glass panels add weight to your roof, raising your car's center of gravity and reducing structural strength. Worse, the complex mechanisms and seals often fail after a few years. Drivers report leaks, rattles, and even exploding glass. Fixing a leaky sunroof can cost thousands, and in many cases, repairs don't last. A simple metal roof is stronger, lighter, and far more reliable. That luxury view often comes at the expense of your car's long-term health. Long cylinder deactivation, eco mode engines. To save fuel, Some engines deactivate cylinders when cruising. Sounds clever, until you realize the long-term damage it causes. Shutting down cylinders creates uneven wear, carbon buildup, and oil problems. Over time, it leads to misfires, engine knocking, and catastrophic failure. Many owners of vehicles with cylinder deactivation systems report costly engine rebuilds long before hitting 150,000 miles. What's worse, the fuel savings are minimal, often just 1 to 2 miles per gallon. Was it worth trading engine reliability for a tiny efficiency gain? Definitely not. Auto Stop-Start Systems. Auto Stop-Start shuts off your engine at stoplights to save gas. But here's the truth. It destroys starter motors, batteries, and other components. Traditional starters weren't designed for constant use. But with Stop-Start, your engine could restart 50+ times on a short trip. Batteries also suffer, as they're under constant strain powering electronics while the engine is off. Repairs? Expensive. Fuel savings? Negligible. Stop-Start might sound eco-friendly, but it's really just a clever way for manufacturers to meet emissions targets at your expense. Run-flat tires. Run-flat tires were marketed as a safety revolution. Drive 50 miles after a puncture? Amazing! But here's the catch. They're heavier, wear out faster, and cost 2 to 3 times more than normal tires. Worse, they can't be repaired in many cases, meaning you're stuck buying a whole new tire for even minor punctures. And because many cars with run flats ditch the spare tire entirely, you're left stranded if things go wrong. Run flats aren't about reliability. They're about manufacturers saving space and weight while you pay the price. Overcomplicated infotainment systems. Touchscreens look futuristic, but they're a nightmare in practice. Instead of simple knobs and buttons, everything, from climate control to radio, now depends on glitchy software. When your screen freezes, you lose access to critical functions. Replacing an infotainment unit can cost thousands compared to a $10 knob replacement in older cars. Even worse, software obsolescence means your smart car feels outdated in just a few years. Simpler controls were more reliable and lasted decades. Fake engine sound systems. Yes, it's real. Manufacturers pipe fake engine noises into the cabin through speakers to enhance driving excitement. But in practice, these systems add unnecessary electronics, complexity, and failure points. Instead of designing engines that sound good naturally, automakers use artificial noise that feels fake and often malfunctions. Once the speakers fail, drivers are left with bizarre humming sounds. This is the epitome of unnecessary complexity, a pointless gimmick that kills authenticity and adds nothing but problems. Active aero systems, movable spoilers, vents, and grills look cool in racing videos. But on daily cars, they're over-engineered junk waiting to fail. These systems use motors, sensors, and hydraulics to adjust aerodynamics. One frozen motor, and your spoiler gets stuck mid-air, costing thousands to fix. For 99% of drivers, active aero provides zero real-world benefit. What it does deliver is high repair costs and long-term unreliability. Power sliding doors. Common on minivans, power sliding doors are convenient until they stop working. Instead of a simple manual slider, you now have motors, sensors, and tracks that constantly jam. One bad switch, and your door either won't open, or worse, won't close. Repairs are expensive, parts are fragile, and long-term reliability is awful. Manual sliding doors? Bulletproof. Power doors? A nightmare. Adaptive suspensions. Adjustable suspensions promise comfort and performance in one package. But here's the truth. They're fragile, costly, and overkill for most drivers. Airbags, electronic dampers, and compressors fail frequently. often costing thousands to replace. Many cars with adaptive suspensions become money pits as they age. A standard suspension setup is reliable for hundreds of thousands of miles. Adaptive? You'll be lucky to get half that lifespan. Complex headlight systems, LED and laser headlights, look futuristic, but are often over-engineered disasters. Instead of a cheap halogen bulb swap, you're now dealing with $2,000 headlight assemblies that fail from water intrusion or electronic glitches. Even minor accidents can lead to thousands in repair costs. Headlights are supposed to be simple safety tools, but with modern designs, they've become financial traps. Dual-clutch transmissions, DCTs. DCTs were supposed to combine the best of manual and automatic. In reality, they're jerky, fragile, and expensive to fix. Clutch packs wear out quickly, mechatronic units fail, and owners face $5,000 plus repair bills. Unlike manuals or traditional automatics, DCTs rarely make it past 100,000 miles without major issues. What's worse, many manufacturers abandon them after endless complaints. Proof that complexity doesn't equal reliability. Gesture control systems. Waving your hands in front of a screen to adjust volume sounds futuristic. But in practice, gesture controls are glitchy, distracting, and fail often. Accidental movements trigger random commands, and when sensors fail, you're left with useless tech. It's an unnecessary gimmick that adds nothing but frustration and repair costs. Simple knobs never caused these problems. Gesture controls are a perfect example of innovation for the sake of innovation. 6. Soft touch dash materials. Luxury cars love soft touch dashboards. They look nice, feel premium, and impress on test drives. But over time, they peel, bubble, and crack. Unlike hard plastics that last decades, soft materials degrade quickly, especially in hot climates. Replacing a dashboard can cost thousands, far more than it's worth. Soft touch may feel good for a few years, but it's a long-term durability disaster. Built-in navigation systems. Before smartphones, built-in nav made sense, but today, it's obsolete. Worse, it's a reliability killer. Maps go out of date quickly, screens fail, and replacing a factory nav unit can cost thousands. Meanwhile, Google Maps on your phone updates for free and works better. Manufacturers push built-in nav for profit, but for owners, it's just an expensive deadweight. Overly complex climate control systems, dual zone, tri-zone, even quad-zone climate systems sound great. But the more zones, the more motors, sensors, and actuators, each one a potential failure. When these systems break, you can't just swap a simple knob. You're looking at dashboards being ripped apart and bills in the thousands. Simple HVAC setups lasted decades. Modern luxury systems, a reliability disaster.